All right, so this week is law of cosines. Last week was law of sines. So we use the law of cosines when we have these two situations. The side angle side situation, an angle between the two sides. Last week we had two sides and an angle, but the angle wasn't between the two sides. So we had to use the law of sines, and that was the type that we had to check for 2 or 0 triangles sometimes. With law of cosines, it's always just one triangle you're doing. You don't have to worry about trying to find the second one at all this week. Or you'll get all 3 side measures, no angle measures. You'll use this law of cosines, okay? So here's the law of cosines. If you're looking for side A, you use this one. Or if you're looking for angle A, you'll use this one. If you're looking for side B or angle B, you'll be using this one. And if you're looking for side C or angle C, you'll use that one. But they're all basically the same. They just kind of interchange with each other. Okay, so A squared equals B squared plus C squared, and then it's minus 2 times B times C times the cosine. Remember, the capital letter represents the angle. So the cosine of the angle. Remember, you're taking cosine of angles, you're taking sine of angles. Some of you got mixed up last week on your quiz, and you were taking the sine of the side instead of the sine of the angle when you wrote your law of sine proportions, fractions. Okay? When it's side angle side situation, the only thing you'll be looking for is, little a, little b, little, one of those sides. You can put all of this in your calculator, hit enter. That'll give you an answer, and then all you got to do is take the square root of that answer, and you got it. Now, once we use law of cosines to finish up solving the triangle, remember, when you solve a triangle, you're finding all the missing pieces, right? It's going to be 3 answers, just like last week. All right, we're going to always go from law of cosines to law of sines. Okay? So whenever we go to the second step to find whatever we have to find for the rest of the triangle, and we go to law of sines, we're always going for the smaller angle that we're looking for, the smallest of the 2 remaining angles. Okay, so whenever you go from law of cosines to law of sines, you're always going for the smaller of the 2 remaining angles. Okay? When you use the side one, when you're given all 3 sides, you have to find the largest angle first. If not, things get kind of messy. They don't really work out the way it should. So always, when it's side situation, find the largest angle. And the largest angle will always be opposite the longest side, right? If I got a short side, my angle is small. But if I got a longer side, that opens my angle up, right? So those are 2 things we're going to have to remember. So let's look at our examples. All right, so I've got side A, side B, and angle C, all right? So the side I'm going to find, it's going to be side angle side if I draw a picture of this, like I did last week. We'll just draw a picture of a triangle. Oh, that was a circle. I don't want a circle. Let's get rid of that. I want triangles, right? So I got some triangle. All right, and okay, so angle C is 32.2. Side B, remember the opposite angle B would be 5, and side A is 8. Okay, so to substitute in, the only thing I can find, there's my side angle side situation. The only thing I can find is side C. So I'm going to use the one that starts out C squared equals. So I'm going to use that one. And I'm just going to substitute all that in. For A, I'm going to put 8. And for B, I'm going to put 5. And then 2 times 8 times 5 times the cosine of that 32.2, which I think is already put in there. All right, and when it's this situation, you can put all that in your calculator just like that. Okay, so 8 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 8 times 5 times the cosine, now remember, not sine, 32.2, and close it up. You put all that in the calculator. Just hit enter. You get that number. Right? I think they wrote that here. Yeah. So we're at 21.3. All right, now that's what C squared equals. So to finish, you got to take the square root of that answer. Okay, so don't forget about that part. Sometimes we forget. So again, the way we do that, we'll just hit square root here is second x squared. So we go second x squared for square root. Then like last week, when we did second sign, we did second answer, remember? That's what I'm gonna do again. Go second answer my negative sign, and then close it up. You really don't have to close it up for that, but I always do. And that'll give us our answer. And we'll just go to tenths. So the length of side C is 4.6. Okay. So we've got that. Okay, now I have an angle and its opposite side. So now I can use law of sines. Okay? But when we go from law of cosines to law of sines, we always go for the smaller of the two remaining angles. So which one's smaller, A or B? Which one has the shortest side? B. So you want to go for angle B. All right? So you go for the smaller of the two. I don't know if they go the rest of it here. I think it's on the next page. Oh, no, guess not. So we got to finish it up. Okay? We'll just use our law of sines again. So I got my 4.6 over the sine of 32.2 equals, we're looking for angle B because we got this one. So 5 is side B. So it'd be 5 over the sine of angle B. So you can't forget about the law of sines that we did last week. We used it to help us finish up our triangles this week. Okay? So remember, it's cross multiply, right? So 4.6 times the sine of B equals 5 times the sine of 32.2. And then you're going to divide by 4.6 so that you know what the sine of B is. Okay? So 5 sine 32.2, close it up, divided by this. The 4.6. And it gives us that. Now remember, 0.5792. We're looking for the angle. That's where we got to do second sign, second answer. Okay? So some of you forgot that step on the quiz Thursday. All right? So I've got that in my calculator. So I'm going to hit second sign, second answer, close it up. And that's 35.4. So that's my degree measure of angle B. So I write that in. Now what do I do to find angle A? Sorry? Right, just add those together and subtract from 180, right? So to finish up, I got that 35.3. I'm going to go plus 32.2 and then go 180 minus that answer. And it's 112.4. So we just solved that triangle, but we had to use law of cosines to start because it was a side angle side situation. We did law of sine just last week when we had two angles in a side or two sides in an angle that wasn't between them. Okay. Questions on that? You with me, Jacob? Okay. So that was the side angle side one. All right? That's the easier of the two. All right? All right, when you got side, 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 all right, you got to find the measure of the largest angle first. So which one's going to be the largest angle? B, because the longest side is B. Understand that? So whatever side's longest, that's the angle we're going to try to find. Because that's going to be the biggest angle. All right? So we're going to use the one that starts out B squared. Okay? So I'm going to substitute into that one. Again, angle B is what I'm going to be looking for. Okay? So here's what we do. All right, so B is 9. A is 8. C is 7. Now this one you can't put it all in your calculator like we did. You gotta do different, you gotta do it a little bit at a time. Okay? So what I always do is the squares. So I got 81, 64, 49, and then 56 times 2 is 112. So I do those numbers, okay? And then I put these two together. Let's get rid of this. All right, so I got 81 equals 113 minus 112 cosine of B. Okay, so I've just done some of the math. All right, so if I had something over here like, let's say, what if I had it like this? I'll just say 81 equals 113 minus 112x. What do you do next over here to solve for x? Take the 113 over, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? Regular solving equations, right? Okay, we get stuck here sometimes because we want to subtract these two. I can't subtract these two, just like I can't subtract these two here because of the x. All right, I got to take the 113 over first. Right, so I have to do that in that one too. But we get confused sometimes because we see this cosine of B. That's what we want to get alone, just like we want to get x alone. Okay? You follow what I'm saying? That's the mistake we'll make sometimes. We'll get in a hurry. We'll say, oh, I know that. That's just 1. So cosine of B is 81. That's not right. Okay? The cosine of B has to be some decimal so that we can figure out the angle. All right? So we can go second cosine, second answer. All right? So this is important that you guys remember this. All right? Okay? So 81 minus 113 is negative 32. And that minus sign is still in front of that 112, just like it would be here. That's the same thing. Now what am I going to do at this point, over on this side? Divide by the negative 112, right? Well, that's what we're going to do here as well. Same procedure. We just get messed up sometimes when we see it as cosine of B instead of just an X. Okay? So I'm going to go divided by that negative 32. Negative, remember, don't forget. And then it gives us that decimal, 0.2857. So at this point, since we're looking for the angle, we go second cosine. So you're used to hitting second sine. So sometimes a mistake we make, we've been hitting second sine a lot. We hit that. But remember, this is law of cosine. So I'm going to hit second cosine, inverse cosine, second answer. And I get 73.4 degrees for that angle. Okay, so I didn't draw the picture. I should draw that. All right, so let me do that. And it was I can't hardly lift my arms today. It's something to my shoulder. That's why everything's low, and then I'll move it up for you. 789 CAB. Okay, so B is 73.4. Okay, so now I can use my law of sines. Now remember, whenever we go from law of cosines to law of sines, which angle do we go for? The smaller one. So which one's the smaller between A and C? C, right? 7's the shortest side, which is opposite angle C, so that's side C, right? So I'm going to set up my proportion again for law of sines. So it's going to be a 9 over the sine of 73.4. That's what I know. And then 7 over the sine of C, the smaller of the two remaining angles. Always go for the smaller after the law of cosines. All right, so we'll cross multiply. So 7 sine of 73.4 divided by 9. Cross multiply and divide. All right. Now remember, we're back to law of sine. So at this point, I'm going second sine, second answer. Right, Connor? And it's 48.2. So I'm going to add 73.4 to that. and go 180 minus that answer to get the third angle of the triangle, 106.6. That doesn't seem right. I didn't do the subtraction part, did I? Oh, I didn't add those, huh? Messed up. All right, so I gotta go 73.4 plus 48.2. I forgot to do that part. I just put that on. See what I did. Now go 180 minus that. 58.4. Okay, so that one we had to find the three angles. Okay? Questions? That was the side situation. We had to solve. Takes a little bit more. It's not much, it's not harder, I guess. It just takes more time than the other one. When you got side angle side, you just put it all in there, hit enter, and then take the square root of the answer and then go from there. All right, got any questions so far? All right, so let's do a couple problems, and that'll be our homework, and we'll be done for the day, all right? Our homework will be classwork. All right, so try that one, please. And then we'll go over it in a few minutes. I'll draw the picture. So there's the picture of that problem. Good picture. I see that. Okay, so what do you figure out? What side angle side? How would you do that? Minus 2 times that. That's what I'm wondering. Cosine of that. Come on. You didn't write it down? Oh. That squared. What's that squared? Minus 2 times that times that. Cosine of that. Put it all in the calculator and take the square root. Okay, now,
you're looking, if you're at it, you want that to be the A, that to be the B. Okay? So, then this would be, that's going to be there. Switch those two letters. This one, that is. That right. So, but I mean, that's the right numbers. Want to go with it? Fine. I don't like to see that, or charge your calculator. Okay, since they gave you this angle, we're gonna use the one at A there and then. Because we keep, we here, switch the A. Okay. So everybody made it back in one piece. No crashes once you get it out, right? Oh, that's this for spring break. You want to switch to okay. Guys are doing well. So since we have angle A, which is the only thing we can figure out then? Side A. You got to use the one that starts out A squared. Okay? So, can't go any, I'm just going to put it here. Can't reach any higher. All right, so A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C cosine of A. All right. We put all that in, and that's what A squared is. So 23 squared plus 18 squared minus 2 times 23, 18 cosine of 173. All right. So that's 1674.8. So to find A, I'm going to take the square root of that. So second squared for square root, second answer. 40.9. Okay? Did I do it right? Did I make any mistakes? When I punched it in? 23 plus 18 minus 2. Yeah, I did that right. Okay? So that is 40.9. Okay? So which of the two remaining angles, Matt, am I going to find?
B.
Right. No. That was all we're thinking you're going to be right.
B. Oh, no.
B is the larger of the two remaining, right? Remember, we always go from cosine to sine, we go for the smaller one, right? That's a 23, 18 smaller, so you want to get angle C next. Okay? So, if I'm looking for angle C, I got to use sine C. So, Tanner, what's my proportion?
18
over sin of C, and 40.9 for sine of 173.
Thanks. So we're gonna do that, find the next one. Okay? Question. You guys know what to do from there then, right?
Mhm.
What'd you guys get for angle C?
3.07,
What?
3.07,
Just 3 degrees?
that's 173.
Yeah, I guess we only have, what, 7 degrees to work with, huh?
Yeah, we were like, oh,
So that's 3, so that would have to be 4 then, right?
3.93, yeah.
Okay? All right. Let's just set the next one up. We don't need to go finish it. We can finish it tomorrow. Let's just get the setup. All right? So this is side, side, side. All right? So go ahead and set it up for me. Z. What's the setup?
Oh, yeah, okay. 18.3 squared equals 32 squared plus 52 squared minus 2 times 35 times 42 cosine C.
Very good. I ran out of room.
35.
Oh. Why are we looking for C? Because it's the largest. Okay? When you do this situation, you gotta find the largest angle first. That's why we did
the C one. Start with the biggest side, and then we go from there. And we'll go ahead and finish that when we come in tomorrow to start. All right, so thanks for participating. Y'all got a 5 out of 5. All right. Have a good day.